You're watching a Big Z review. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come is a sequel to the amazing, dark comedy, kind of like slasher flick from a couple of years ago. And it kind of brings all the main people back. Well, the main woman, Samara Weaving, and the director is Radio Silence. But it's just kind of derivative of the first and doesn't really provide anything making that this was a necessary sequel.
The heads of the council families will try to kill you and your sister. Whoever does wins the high seat and controls everything.
Everything?
The world.
You're telling me you didn't know your fiancé was in a devil cult?
Listen, if you don't do exactly what I say, we are going to die.
So I rewatched the first film like the day before watching the new one, and I almost kind of wish I didn't, just because watching the first one reminded me of how good it is. And because the first one is just that essentially Samara Weaving is Grace McCulley, and she's marrying the black sheep of this rich family, and they kind of bring him back into the fold with but then now there's a game you have to play, and then you drew the one bad card, you got hide and seek, and then now the whole family has to kill you by sunrise or they all die because their ancestor signed a contract with the devil, Mr. LaBelle. And this continues that. But in that one, they kind of mention the whole... I love the idea of the first one, where because it's their ancestor that met the devil, they're all they're rich. And it's they sacrifice goats and stuff. They're devil worshippers. But at the same time, they don't know the devil exists. So they're not 100% sure that if they don't succeed in killing Samara, that they're gonna die. But that's why one of the best moments of that film, spoiler for it, is that when the one few that are left alive by sunrise, and they fail in sacrificing Samara, they all just explode in sending blood everywhere. And it's awesome moment. But I think in this one, the biggest weakness is that I expected there to be some sort of evolution, to amp up the violence or amp up everything that happened. And it's it doesn't. There's only one scene towards the end of Here I Come where that involves a pit that is a bit more over the top. But everything else is almost less violence. Or it's not as funny too. And it's funny. It's interesting where the first one, you can see that, there are a lot of all these people, they're high on cocaine, they're drunk, they're not prepared to go after and kill someone that will do anything to survive. But in this one, again, they're all the same. They all are bumbling fools. And it's so weird because they even have the idea that Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hatosy, they're the Danforth. They're the heads of the council of the devil worshippers. And the idea is because that one person survived, now all the families of the council have to do another hunting party, and the one that actually kills her will become the new head of the council. And it's weird because none of them are that bad. They're devil worshippers. And that's the thing I always find interesting in anything that has the devil. It's when there's a lot of temptation that you're trying to say that the one person, the Japanese woman, is I found the clause where if you marry my son, you don't have to die. No one has to die. Just marry my son. And it's the devil worshippers are not evil enough. We know, Jeffrey Epstein, he was raping children, murdering and eating babies, perhaps. That's true evil. These guys are just they're bumbling fools. Even once again, I said, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hatosy, at one point, the other people are their dad has trained them since kids to be brutal killers. We have no chance against them. And then they're the same one. They're just bumbling, fumbling fools the entire film. And it is kind of funny, But it's just kind of weird, especially at one point. The big gimmick of this film is that, oh, Samara Weaving actually has a sister, played by Kathryn Newton, Face. And it's like, okay, fine. But too much of it is them arguing, is just kind of annoying. But at one point, Sean Natosi, he's the guy from the Pit. But like he's like they're twins, so they can do it at the same time when all the other people only have one person from their family. At one point, like he gets a hold of the sister and like beats her up, and then Sarah Michelle Gellar comes in and is like, "What are you doing? Why are you beating up our sacrifice?" And it's like she's like, and the whole thing she's trying to get Samara like trying to convince her to do some stuff, and it's like we have to deal with my brother. He's like so evil. We need to do something to have him do good in the world. And it's like, you guys are devil worshippers that rule the world. Like why aren't they more evil? Like, it's such an odd choice. And I think, oh, this like there's some fun stuff, but so much of it just kind of feels derivative. And also too, I feel like they overuse the whole explosion. Like whenever like there's like all these clauses. Like the Mr. LaBelle sure loves clauses. Like he's got Elijah Woods as a lawyer. Like the whole big all these contracts and stuff. And it's like some people like, oh, he didn't perform right. Now you're going to explode, including all of your bloodline. We're going to explode now. And it's like, it's just, that was so cool at the end of the film, of the first one. It's like this giant release of all the tension. But in this one, it's just kind of overused to throw a bucket of blood on the hot girls, you know? And I don't mind, I don't hate that, but I just feel like it didn't do anything to like prove that it needed to exist. And they have the same directors, Radio Silence, the Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, and you have to think they wanted to do it. And it wasn't like this movie made that much money the first time around, but I didn't like it that much. Like it's not horrible. It didn't need to exist. I'd probably give it like a 6.75 out of 10. But thanks for watching. Want to see more of me? Subscribe down below. Thanks.